before we get into our big review, we're going to do a smaller little review of a band that we love, band that we were excited about reviewing, this new album from Mclusky called The World Is Still Here and So Are We. This wasn't one of our planned reviews, but why don't you go ahead and give us a little bit of a Mclusky backstory?
Yeah, they're a band that I've really gotten into over the past probably like 5-6 years, mostly off of their 2002 album, Mclusky Do Dallas. They're a Welsh power trio that make really fuzzy, punky sort of indie rock with like hilarious, irreverent lyrics.
Yeah.
And they haven't released anything in 21 years. I saw that they released a few of these songs earlier in the year, and I remember listening to them and liking them. And then when I saw that they were putting out a full-length album, I wouldn't allow myself to get excited for it. Because Mclusky Do Dallas means so much to me. Like, I fucking love that album.
Yeah.
It, like, exists as, like, an ideal of indie rock. Like, before indie rock meant like coffee shop wallpaper, it was like independent spirited rock music that could be weird and heavy. And I've just been burnt by so many comeback records. Like when I hear you haven't made an album in 21 years, I'm like, yeah.
It's like the Spinal Tap sequel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're very cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
That's always how it goes.
Yeah. So I didn't like allow I didn't even put it on our schedule because I was like, if I don't want Mclusky to bring me down.
Yeah.
But I did have some hope because like Andrew Falkus, the lead singer, he's been making music with a band called The Future of the Left, which also has the same drummer as Mclusky. And then he also has a solo project called Christian Fitness. And none of them sound unlike Mclusky.
Right, yeah.
But so when this came out Friday, gave it a listen, and what are we gonna do? We're just gonna play it?
Let's throw it on.
We're not going track by track with
Yeah.
this one. We're just kind of give our thoughts.
This is sort of in the cut of our You Oughta Blow Artist.
Yeah,
I would say this is one of our You Oughta Blow.
Mclusky.
A classic You Oughta Blow Artist.
You know, I was thinking about the Viagra Boys album that we listened to like a month ago or whatever. And there seems to be like a taste for that kind of music, whether it be via Idols or via, Viagra Boys, whatever band you want to say, like kind of this really intense, but there's an inherent goofiness to it in some way.
Angry, but still funny guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this scratches that itch for a lot of people. Like I was messaging one of my friends. He was like, what do you like most about the Viagra Boys? I told him, I was like, you got to check out Mclusky because you would fuck with this really heavy.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a good point. Like, it actually makes sense for them to come back now because I think that bands either inspired by them or just pulling from similar influences are bigger now than they've ever been.
Yeah.
Like, Viagra Boys is a really great comparison. I would say Piss Jeans is another one.
Piss Jeans, 100%, yeah.
There's a song on here that sounds like a Piss Jeans song. But thoughts on the record, I fucking love this album.
Yeah.
I like I said, I was cautiously optimistic, was like listening to it and I was like, okay, this is good. I don't have to be worried. But I didn't expect myself to be like, man, they really like didn't miss a step.
They seem to still have the same humor that they once did, and that's like a really tough thing to do. And maybe it's not as tough with like the whole state of the world right now to like make fun of it, but it's interesting that they like did not miss a step in 21 years with like how sarcastic but still intense they can be
and youthful. I mean, I'm presuming that these are like 50-year-old guys.
Yeah, I would think 40s if not 50s
ish. It's I don't put it past anybody to just become a little out of touch or jaded or whatever, but like you insert any artist that we've idolized from their work of 20 years ago and then compare it to if they're still making music now, it's like but this doesn't really fall into that.
No, I would agree. Like, it sounds really good. The performances are really good.
Yes.
His voice definitely sounds different but he's still doing it like
Yeah.
he did it in 2002 and 4.
He just sounds a little bit older. That's really it. But he's still, I mean, like, the song we just listened to, Unpopular Parts of a Pig, like, for him to be able to scream that well and intensely, like, the whole time, he does sound like, you know, a kid that just started his first band.
Yeah.
Like, damn, how the fuck did that happen?
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just gonna say, I mean, you introduced me to Mclusky through we played To Hell with Good Intentions and Lightsaber Cocksuckin' Blues, and yeah, I was just like so blown away by them, and they did quickly become like one of my favorite like old acts to look into, like in the same vein as like Jesus Lizard.
Yeah.
Like they made a comeback. Mclusky feels like you said, like there's a need for this type of thing again, and yeah, it's really cool that they were able to like deliver in this way. The guitars are fucking everything on this record is so distorted and raw. Like it doesn't sound like they dialed anything in for the bass to be a bass or the guitar to like have like a, you know, rhythm or treble. It's just like, let's stomp on our distortion pedals and just see what happens.
Yeah.
It sounds like a posthumous Albini recording to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'm pretty sure that they released it on the 1-year anniversary of his death.
Wow.
Oh, did they?
Which is fitting.
I wonder
That
if they
is-
record. Do we know who they recorded this with?
I don't, but I'm almost sure it wasn't Albini because
Okay.
I think I watched an interview with them from like a year ago, and they said it was half recorded, and I think Steve was already gone by then.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I think
Good.
that's right.
And yeah, because Mclusky do Dallas, Albini did that record, and it's like the quintessential Albini record, like
Yeah.
giant noisy bass, these like trebly, angular guitars,
Giant drums.
giant drums. The vocals not really treated
No.
right up front.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like you said, the sense of humor, like the just the song titles. This
song
song's
titles
called
alone.
"The Way of the Exploding Dickhead." Competent Horse Thief, Kafka-esque novelist Franz Kafka, which I love.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like pleasantly surprised at how good the performances were and how sticky the songs are in the
Yeah.
way that they always were sticky.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's To Hell with Good Intentions or Lightsaber Cocksuckin' Blues on here, but this song is probably as close as it gets.
I think so too. I mean, there's a lot of just heaters on this thing. Like,
Yeah.
And they all do stick in your head because of how memorable the song titles and the way they work them into the refrain. Like this one, The Digger You Deep, is like, you don't forget that melody on. It's so fucking good and clever. It's one of my favorites, but I have a favorite on the album.
I would say for me it's either Digger You Deep or Autofocus on the Prime Directive.
that's
That
my favorite.
one's really good.
That's
voc-
my favorite.
The vocal performance on Autofocus on the Prime Directive is so insane.
It's such
Yeah.
a head turner. You're just like, wow,
Oh,
he's just giving it his all, like that. I can't remember.
Sad
the
man.
It's like a weird thing to say too. Like, what are you talking about? You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't even know what that means. Autofocus is like a camera thing. You know.
Yeah.
I saw. I think it's. He said that the bassist is like into self-improvement,
Oh, okay.
and like that is something that he said either in earnest or in jest. Like you got to autofocus on the Prime Directive.
That's
Oh my
such a
God.
great thing to base a song after.
Yeah.
Like it's a good thing, but also you're kind of making fun of your bassist. Yeah.
There's like a track by track rundown of like each song that's really funny because it's clear that like it was emailed to him instead of asked, so like all of his responses are written and they're all fucking
Yeah.
like half serious, half hilarious.
Yeah.
But I've gone back and listened to some interviews of him, and he's a really like interesting guy. Like he's talking like you know, he understands Mclusky is like a hobbyist band at this point.
Yeah.
Like he was in the interview, he's talking about like, yeah, we get together like 4 hours a month, so it's going to take a longer time.
Yeah.
We all have kids. And he was like really outspoken about downloading music when it was first started happening. He's like, sure, the like giant bands, that's not going to be that big of a deal, but like for people who like legitimately need that money to be able to even sustain their projects,
Yeah.
like you're not going to have these weird cool bands
Yeah.
that can like actually make it a self-sustaining thing.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I didn't know that he was outspoken like that, but that makes perfect sense. Did he say anything about that like recently? Like, was it?
This was like way back when it was first
when.
happening. The interview that I listened to most recently, he was just talking about like, you know, as you get older, the pie leaves your eye to a certain degree of like what you think you're going to be able to accomplish with your music or whatever, and now it's like they have just a real appreciation of being able to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I think they were supposed to go on tour or are on tour or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, he got sick, and they had to cancel part of the tour because I was supposed to go to that show.
I think I was supposed to go with you.
Yeah.
I can't remember. That would have been really cool.
Yeah. I'm hoping that it looks like they're touring now again, and this was put out by Ipecac, which is Mike Patton's label.
Mm-hmm.
And they seem to be putting money behind it. Like, they've released 4 music videos, which I think is 4 more music videos than Mclusky had previously.
Yeah. 13 songs as well. I mean, it's like a nice... It's a long record, but it's only 33 minutes. Like, I love that.
It's
It
unbelievable.
reminds me so much of... And it doesn't sound like him really at all, but just the way he's like trying to make his voice sound there reminds me a lot of Buzz Osborne. Like, this record feels almost like a Melvins record. But the thing about Melvins now versus this is that the Melvins are just like, they keep making just like half-assed, like mid records that are like, okay, it's Melvins. Melvins fans will love it. But like, you could dive into this as a person who's never listened to Mclusky before. Maybe he's just heard the Melvins or heard Piss Jeans and liked it, or heard Jesus Lizard and liked it. But like, it's a really like, it's a fresh take for like rock music today still.
Yeah, I would agree. It sounds modern, even though it's made by guys whose like heyday was 25 years ago, and they haven't released an album on this project in 20 years.
Yeah.
And yeah, it feels like a fitting add to their discography because, I mean, Mclusky Do Dallas is great, but so is The Difference Between Me and You is I'm Not on Fire.
Yeah, I love that.
Like, that's an awesome record as well. And this feels like a worthy addition to the discography. I could see this being a lot of, like, people's first Mclusky album.
Yeah.
And that is cool. Like you said, like with the Melvins, like Houdini, Stoner Witch, the early stuff is so fucking good. And you'll find like 2 or 3 songs on the new Melvin stuff where you're like, God damn, that's good.
Yeah.
But it's cool to hear a band take this much time off, and it's filled with like urgency.
Yeah.
And the whole thing front to back works. I love this song as well.
Yeah, this one is another, like, it's such a cool switch up from the like intensity you were getting from the past couple songs, but this one's called Not All Steeplejacks. And he's doing like, this like weird, like creepy voice on it the whole time.
Yeah, it's like it has like it's like a creepy version of Lime in the Coconut.
Yeah,
and
I didn't think about that.
The riff switches up, and he switches up the lines where he'll say, "It's never complicated. It's never complicated. Tell it is," and then it's always complicated.
Yeah,
it's always complicated.
I like that a lot.
There's a lot of good lyrics on there. What's the one that had me? The truth is more complex than that. According to your fucking dad, some people like their heroes bald and fat.
Yeah,
like just shit like that, where you're just like, what the fuck are you talking
I didn't catch on to that, but we should get that printed on a sign and put it right here because that is beautiful.
That should be the tagline for the band. Like, I quit my band. Some people like their heroes bald and fat. And that's for the Sleep Token fans when they call us that.
That's so perfect to go into our Sleep Token review today.
And also with this album, I made the Viagra Boys and other modern comparisons. I would say, and we liked, like collectively, we liked that release and a lot of the other similar ones, the Piss Jeans album, and no, Idols not so much, but wait, you know what I'm saying. But I think where a lot of these modern records suffer maybe a little bit for me compared to this is the production is not quite what they could do to best serve the music.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, I mean, this selfishly, the way the Mclusky album sounds is like my favorite way that a modern song can sound. Like super, like fuck all that like super polished, whatever. Just give me like a giant drum set and like some fucked up bass and like, weird effects or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that in and of itself really serves to elevate this Mclusky album, where if they made different decisions, or they went in the route of how some of these other bands have and chose something cleaner or more expensive or whatever, it might have detracted. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Big
Yeah.
time. Yeah, like they are, a lot of those bands have moved on to try to make like their big, like creative album. And when the guitars and drums and bass are only one part of 37 stems, whereas if it's just rock elements, you're gonna make them louder, lush, fuller.
Sounds like there was 4 mics in a room, and there's like,
it works.
It
It's
might
fine.
be too many. Might be too many mics.
Let's cut it down to 3. There's only 3 of us.
There's 3 guys in the band. Come on.
I'll sing into the mic that's also miking up my guitar.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to. I don't mean to sound negative. It does sound like, unpolished, raw, almost like it could be. If someone told me that this was like the demos album before they were to release the full album, I'd be like, that makes sense, because the guitars sound like, you don't like hear the cuts or anything like that. Like, you just like hear him playing, you hear him screaming, you hear the bass just going. Like it sounds live, like a live performance, and it has that energy. And it's different, even for like when we just listened to the Viagra Boys album. Like that was polished, had a lot of energy, but this is a different beast.
I feel like that sensibility of like, just put up a couple of mics, we'll record it, and that's it. Is the sensibility of a band that, even though analog was like not in vogue in the 90s or early 2000s, whenever Mclusky was putting out like a majority of their work, it is a sensibility that it might come easier to a band that has a long tenure versus a newer one that only knows Logic.
Yeah.
I
want to put on People Person real quick, because we didn't talk about it, and it's so like, it feels essential, like in their discography.
Yeah.
Like it feels like one of their biggest songs. Just the way that, like that trudge, just fucking classic.
Yeah. What's interesting too is like there's like different elements on this. Like this has like a bluesy romp. There's another one with like a bluesy romp. The
Cops and
Cops and Coppers has like that like early Clash reggae sort of like punk. This is the one that has the line about some people like their heroes bald and fat. There's another one. Exploding kids can kill the vibe if exploding kids are not your heart's desire.
That's also good.
It just sounds like
for guys that have a podcast instead of children.
Yeah, I mean, I think another reason why I respond to this music so much is it's guys making the most out of their personality.
Yeah.
Using that as the thing to differentiate your band than whatever pedal you're using, whatever you're like, pedal board or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm a weird fucking guy. When I step up to the mic, I have a weird voice, and I can say strange things that are funny.
Yeah.
And it's like, I immediately have a more like emotional connection to something like that, where I'm like, oh, this guy is being himself on microphone.
That makes sense.
It's the contradicting going to therapy. It's like you could go to therapy, or you could just yell. It's like for some guys that really works.
That works.
You can just be in a weird ass
you
band.
can just be in a weird band. Yeah. But yeah, I thought this album was great.
Yeah, it was really good. Should we rate it?
The only I'll go into negatives. The only song I really didn't like was Battle of Los Angeles C, or Angle C. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I think it's because I don't know if Andrew Falkus is singing on that one.
I think it's the bassist singing on that one. I would agree that it's my least favorite song.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad song, but it lacks the unhinged energy of the rest of the songs.
Yeah, it felt a little bit too measured. But that's really all I have to say about it. I appreciated the length. It's not like an album, a headphones album by any means, but that's also why it's great too, because all the songs deliver in their own way and are like catchy, and like as soon as it's like one of those things where as soon as you see the name of the song, you can sing along to it. You're just
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
That's a good point.
If I'm gonna rate it, I'd probably give it like an 8 flat.
Yeah, only a negative that I would have to say about it, like, I know that YouTube like the amount of songs more. It just like I guess maybe it's just because I digested it in a quick amount of time. 13 seemed like a lot of songs, but also it's only 33 minutes, so I don't know if that's really
Right.
it's not like I had to listen to something for an hour, but telling things apart becomes harder when you add more shit to the equation,
Yeah, I
despite
gotcha.
how different they are. But yeah, it's really amazing. It sounds awesome. I wish my drums sounded like that. And it's really nasty, and the singer says some really weird shit, and it's not in a pretentious or like a nerdy scholarly way either. So that humanizes it to me. I think I'm with an 8. I'll give it an 8. Just an even 8.
Hell yeah. I just also wanted to say this is one of the catchiest things on the record.
I like this
and
song a
it's
lot.
a competent horse thief
Yeah.
without the benefit of teeth. It's like I have no idea what
I don't know what that
fuck
means.
is that?
That Competent Horse Thief melody is so good.
Yeah.
A competent horse thief. Yeah.
Yeah, I love this. This was like a great surprise. Didn't want to get my hopes up, but this is better than I could have ever expected for a Mclusky record 21 years after the fact. I think it's like super digestible. Like I've listened to it so many times because it's just so easy to start back at one, and like as good as the best songs are, the ones that aren't as good don't drag down like the
Yeah.
track listing where I'm like, I don't really want to
Yeah.
listen to that. Battle of Los Angeles may be the only skip.
Yeah.
It's like I don't hate that song, but between People Person and Wave the Exploding Dickhead, I'm just gonna
You
go
wanna-
right to People Person.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean it's everything I've wanted in a Mclusky record, and it's probably one of my favorites of the year. I'm gonna go 8.4.
8.4. It's an 8.1.
Kind of hell yeah is that?
It's a exploding dickhead.
Exploding
Hell
dickhead,
yeah.
hell yeah.
Cool.
That feels good.
Yeah.
An exploding dickhead, hell yeah, from Mclusky.
A
with
pleasant
their-
surprise.
A pleasant surprise. Their new album, The World Is Still Here, and So Are We. Did you give this album a listen? Let us know what you thought of it in the comments. Did you love it? Did you love it as much as us? Did you hate it? Did you think this was an unnecessary release for Mclusky? Do you think they should just go away? Let us know everything about it.
Have you ever
God
heard
damn.
of
Have you ever
Mclusky?
heard of Mclusky? I don't know. I'm just trying to picture
The one
worst
guy.
guy, Because that's who's sometimes on YouTube.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Should have stayed
Should've
gone.
stayed gone. you never know.
Yeah, I feel like if
never
anything,
know.
that would just be Andrew Falcus.
Should have stayed gone.
Now I have to make 4
Get him
music
the
videos.
Fuck out of here. Let us know what you think, even if you think they should have stayed gone.
Can we change it to a should have stayed gone?
Yeah.
Should have stayed gone. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know what you think. Sub to the channel if you haven't yet. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok. And sub to that Patreon. Support the show. $5 a month. Thanks, everyone, for watching. It's Mclusky. It's a should have stayed gone. Hell yeah. 8.1 from IQMB.